If the first week of 2018 has any implication for what the rest of the year will hold in store for the sports world, then the conversation around how sports will handle sexual assault and sexual harassment will be an ongoing discussion. Earlier this week, the University of Arizona fired Rich Rodriguez as its head football coach. According to reports, the school had launched an investigation into allegations of workplace misconduct and hired an outside law firm to investigate Rodriguez for allegedly sexually harassing a former Department of Athletics employee. After conducting a thorough evaluation of our football team and its leadership, both on and off the field, President Robins and I feel it is in the best interest of the University of Arizona and our athletics department to go in a new direction, Athletics Director Dave Heeke said in a statement. Rodriguez was already on the hot seat coming into this season after his team went 38 last year. Rich Rod admits to cheating on his wife but says he complied with the investigation and was cleared. Arizona feels one way, while Rodriguez feels another. Rick Scutaria. But no matter what Rodriguez did or didn't do on or off the field, in this cultural climate, it seems pretty clear that the sexual harassment allegations are what did him in. From Harvey Weinstein to Matt Lauer, it is clear that we're getting close to a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to sexual assault and harassment in society. What's happening now is interesting, because things are being exposed, and that's really the silver lining to all of this, said Dr. Catherine Burnett, a professor within the School of Social Work at Tulane University, to the Daily News last December. People aren't getting away with it as much, or at least there is some awareness that this is so insidious. But while we've seen this zero-tolerance approach taken in some situations, there have been other instances in the sports world that have not followed that same narrative. Jeff Kowalski, FBGT Images. Michigan State University and USA Gymnastics have been under scrutiny for months for the way they mishandled the Larry Nassar situation. Nassar is the doctor who is in the middle of the sexual assault cases that happened within USA Gymnastics, as well as when he was employed by Michigan State. Nassar has been accused by more than 140 women and has accusations that date back to 1991 in his time between working for the university and USA Gymnastics. A simple fact is this: if Michigan State University, USA Gymnastics and the U.S. Olympic Committee had paid attention to any of the red flags in Larry Nassar's behavior, I would have never met him, I never would have been treated by him, and I never would have been abused by him, Olympic gold medalist Michaela Maroney wrote in an impact statement to the court. Maroney is also claiming that USA Gymnastics improperly silenced her with a secrecy clause after she agreed to a $1 million settlement over the molestation claims. But wait, there's more. Because while we may see the fallout from what happens with Michigan State and USA Gymnastics take place in 2018, we are still waiting to see what will happen with ESPN, as the network is dealing with sexual harassment claims of its own. John Buccigross and Matthew Berry, along with other male talent at ESPN, have been accused of inappropriate behavior towards women, according to an in-depth report that was released last month from the Boston Globe, featuring bombshell allegations about the culture in Bristol. Former ESPN anchor Adrienne Lawrence was at the center of the story, as she alleges that Buccigross sent unsolicited shirtless photographs of himself, and called her dollface, dream girl, and long legs in messages dating from 2016. Richard T. Gagnon, Getty Images. The network released a limited chain of text messages between the two and seems to be standing behind their longtime SportsCenter anchor. Lawrence was not pleased with the decision. As for ESPN's recent behavior, its decisions to single me out, ignore my key allegations, which ESPN knows are far broader than text messages and photos, and then release select, self-serving text messages, only further evidences the culture of this network and the lengths it will go and the unethical means it will employ to try and silence women. Lawrence, a lawyer who started working at ESPN in 2015 on a racial diversity fellowship, wrote in a statement. When activist Tarana Burke created Me Too back in 2006, I'm sure she had no idea that a tweet from Hollywood actress Alyssa Milano using her slogan as a hashtag 11 years later would ignite a fire that is shining a bright light that's exposing predators of sexual assault and harassment across the nation. Historically, sports has been viewed as a medium of progress when it comes to our culture. If you wanted to understand how society felt about racial, gender, or sexual issues, sports was usually the catalyst for change and inclusion. In a perfect world, sports would be that change agent we need in 2018. However, this world is far from perfect, and the sports world has always been, and still is, dominated by men. I'm still holding out hope that sports can be where change occurs, but